Hello, 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 hello. I would like to touch on a controversial issue of a famous South African podcaster who made some offensive, derogatory, and incendiary comments about another famous South African woman called Minnie Dlamini. And I just need to provide a commentary on that and the reactions that have been happening online on it. And recently there's a minister in the presidency for women and children and people with disabilities has chimed in on this, which has brought me to the place where I actually want to react and respond to it. Yeah, stay with us. Okay, where are we? So, MacG is the name of this podcaster who made these comments. MacG is a South African podcaster. His podcast has been alleged to be the biggest podcast in Africa. It's very successful. He has hosted probably some of the most leading influencers in South Africa in his podcast. International guests as well have frequented his podcast. The nature of this podcast is that it is mostly a gossip orientated podcast. When I say gossip orientated, I mean that gossip, TMZ style stuff, People magazine stuff. It's mostly gossip. You would find things of substance on it, but they are incidental to the main theme of the podcast, which is gossip. And I don't particularly follow the podcast, and I don't particularly like this guy. When I'm saying I don't particularly like him, I don't have anything against him, but I'm not a fan of his. We have big stylistic differences, and we probably, in the real world, we probably wouldn't be friends because we are just very different in the way that we approach the world. So I'm not even subscribed to his podcast, but because he is a big podcaster, when something controversial happens, all of us in the black digital airwaves would hear about it because people are talking about it. So what he said about Minnie Dlamini, who is a TV presenter, and I know Minnie Dlamini from my days at the University of Cape Town, is that he said that because Minnie Dlamini just recently got divorced, this is her second divorce, and he made comments that the reason why she might have why she can't keep a man might be that she has some problems, and maybe some of the problems that she might have is that her coochie has a smell, which is a comment that obviously people find offensive, because it is not a nice thing to say about anyone. You could call it offensive, derogatory, incendiary. You might even call it a below the belt comment. Yeah, it is a comment that is very, very offensive. However, I'll have to say that the response that has come from this is that you have women on one side who are vehemently defending Minnie Dlamini, and then you have men on the other side who are hearing none of it, mainly because men are saying that Minnie Dlamini has a history of insulting and defaming men online, which is the truth. Several comments that she's been making about her ex-boyfriend, former South African number one goalkeeper Itumeleng Khune, who's one of the greatest goalkeepers the country has ever produced, if not the best goalkeeper the country ever produced, constantly insulting him, dragging him online, even years after they broke up, which is something that a lot of guys can relate to. That, like, you dated someone, it happened years ago, you've moved on with your life. You didn't abuse this person or anything, but this person continues to drag you and to insult you and to talk about you like non-stop shade. A lot of us have gone through this. I personally have been a subject of this with a former girlfriend of mine who actually is host, also runs a podcast, by the way, and a very sort of relatively successful podcast. Made some very offensive remarks about me, but this happens a lot to men, and the thing is that men are just expected to just shut up and deal with it while we are being insulted, while we are being defamed, while we are being men calling us broke and calling us short or small dick energy and all of that. But for me, what brought me to the point of wanting to respond to this is that the minister in the presidency responded to this, and she was threatening MacG, that this is hateful, it is a violation of the Constitution, and this is with regards to the issue of that each individual has a right to dignity and all of that. And the problem that I'm having with that is that there was a movement not a long time ago, which was all over the world, including South Africa, where everyone was talking about how men are trash. And none of the government people came out and said this is the violation of the constitutional right of men with regards to the right to dignity. None of them came out and said that. None of them, this is not just like women on the fringes of the internet were saying that men are trash. These were women on television, women on radio, on magazines, on newspapers, even women in government, women in universities, because at the time, even the vice chancellor at the time, the University of Cape Town was sending communique to University of Cape Town students with headlines that say men are trash, and men are just accepted to swallow all of this bullshit. And so, but when something like this happens, when someone says something offensive about women, all of a sudden the sky is falling. This is one of the reasons why men online are just not having any of it. And regardless of what my personal views about the substance of the comments that MacG made, this is with regards to the fact that we're in a situation where men are constantly being insulted, constantly being devalued, constantly being caricatured, and their dignity being stripped from them, constantly, a constant stream of emasculation of men. And none of these people are interested in addressing this. But you find one man who says anything offensive towards a woman, then all of a sudden, oh, this is the source of all the gender-based violence that we see in our society. Oh, this is a crisis of toxic masculinity. And men are just tired of it. Men are tired of it, and that because if you want to be treated with dignity and some sort of difference and some sort of if we disagree respectfully, then respect others as well. And no one in our society right now is as disrespectful and dehumanizing as women are towards men. So until we address that issue, until we see parity in terms of how men and women are treated when these sort of things, don't tell me I don't know hear anything about this. No, I don't know hear anything about it. So let me know comments, thoughts below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Just tell me what you think about this entire thing.